There was one very, very interesting story a little while ago. A young man who'd been painted white in Balfour, and he was painted white by a white farmer who was very, very scared, he says, when he saw this young black man trespassing on his property. And always in situations like that, it's very difficult to decide who you're going to send out in a story, because sometimes you need to send out a white reporter who can go and relate to the farmer, because you're not going to get that. You'll get a great deal of hostility if you send a black reporter out who's going to speak an African language. At the same time, you need to send a reporter out who can speak an African language, because you want to go and interview that person's family and you want to get that side of the story. So not only time consuming, but it can also be a bit of a drain on resources, because very often you then have to send two people so you get both sides.
Doesn't look like they're home.
When did it actually happen then?
I think it happened last night or early this morning. Apparently it was in full view of the neighbours. The neighbours actually saw him impaling his mother with this fork, garden fork, so just gone found out across the road from him.
We only one, but we don't know anybody, even the girls. We don't know anybody. We have Angas number 1, 2, Utala Basezala, Basoneta since.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually almost and then
yeah. No more who's any.
I noticed she broke into English a few times. Why would she do that?
We don't know anybody.
Sometimes you express yourself better in a different language, and you'll break into that language if you know the person you're talking to understands it. I wouldn't go and talk to her because I don't understand Pedi or Tswana or Zulu, Sotho, what she does.
Even my brother doesn't know where I'm working. We haven't got even telephone number.
Okay.
We're still very new, really. Thank you very much.
English is one of those languages that are understood by most of the people that we cater for, number one, but it also somehow escaped the legacy that Afrikaans as a language got itself saddled with, of being seen as the language of the oppressor. I don't know how English escaped that, because the English were not necessarily freedom fighters for black people in this country.
Yeah, well, the police instructed me I mustn't talk, but you work together sometimes with the police. All I can tell you that when my daughter came, she says, "Mom, I see the neighbor boy sitting in the street with his bleeding hands, and I think he was sitting here. The neighbor from next door came running when he heard the woman scream while the son was killing him. No? And we found the two dogs behind this wall lying neatly next to each other, but stabbed to death with a garden fork. No? And I found the gardener also totally motionless. And
where was the gardener?
He was in the garage.
In the garage?
In the garage, next to his bed, lying on the floor. Yeah, one lives here in this quiet suburb and thinks here, a little Ellen Road, a little paradise, and nothing happens. And here you have it right in front of your doorstep. The worst thing what you can imagine. Huh? This family crime is a tragic thing.
Thank you again.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir.
We see you.
Bye.